Hello, entrepreneurs. Welcome to another episode of Entrepreneur Fundamentals. My name is Robert Bitto. I'm filming in a different part of my warehouse office business space today, just for the heck of it. I decided to do a lot of work in this part of my business today, so I brought my camera and set it up. So that's why the background looks different. But what I wanted to talk about was something that happened to me last week that I mentioned in my previous video that has really got me thinking and has really been cathartic, as they say. I know that's a 50-cent word, but I'll say it's been a catalyst. It's been the impetus. There I go with my vocabulary again. It's been, I don't know how else I could say this. That 80% rent increase proposal really has got me thinking. Okay, there. It was the spark that set the fire for my thinking about a lot of things. And I mean, I think about what happened to me, and to give a brief recap in case you didn't catch my last episode, the people who bought this building and overpaid for it, they paid the asking price for it, which I thought was kind of weird, given that I talked to some of the inspectors when this was going through the for sale process. The electrical inspector said that there was $500,000 that needed to be done to get this building up to code. The termite inspector said that the building had a history of termites here and there. There were some other things. The roof leaks. It needs a completely new roof. There are some other exterior things that need to be done. So we're talking about, I think, about $750,000 to $1 million of upgrades that this building needs. And I really shouldn't say that it's upgrades. These are not upgrades. These are just maintenance, right? You don't expect to have a leaky roof when you rent a business space. So if they're trying to come back at me and say, well, now you'll not have a leaky roof, so, hey, look at the benefit we're providing. And no, that's just maintenance. That's a given that you're going to have a roof that doesn't leak. But back to the story. New owners bought this building, and everybody here who was not on a lease was given these just gigantic rent increases. And they thought I wasn't on a lease. These are not very smart people. They thought I wasn't on a lease. They had seen some old paperwork, and what happened is when I rented some additional space in this really, really big building, I got on a 3.5-year lease. My other older space was month to month. It had fallen off the lease, and I was going month to month. So when I rented the new space for 3.5 years, I thought, well, you know what? This man who owns this building is in his 90s, and in 3.5 years, the guy's probably going to die. So I'm going to have a lease on my older part, my first piece of this property that I was renting. So I went off month to month and then got a lease in sync with the new one. I had my old part of the building in sync with the new lease. So both places are on leases that go until 2024. Well, the new owners, they thought I was still month to month in my larger, older place that I've been renting for 7 years. And so they sent me this offer. You can continue month to month, or you can lock in a lease, and here are the prices. Well, they wanted to give me an 80% rent increase, not 8%, 80%. And that is still, I think about that and it's laughable. They overpaid on this building, and they think they got a hot property, but it's a dump. I mean, it's just basic. That's all I need. I need a basic thing. I don't need this place to be a showcase for customers, because the only people who come in here are people who are local, who may want to pick up things to save on shipping, and that's probably one person every 2 months. Okay, so this doesn't have to be a beautiful, glamorous place that I'm renting. So it is pretty dumpy. These new owners think that it's a hot property and, they raised all the rents. People are going to leave. And the whole point of this video, though, is what this has done to me mentally ever since that I got the news. Maybe I've been a little complacent because now there's some sort of end date in my mind where I have to make changes to my business, and they're not changes that I necessarily want to make. They're not coming from here. They're not coming from me. They're being forced on me by the outside. It's almost like kind of being fired from a job. I mean, I don't work for anyone, and I haven't worked for anybody since the middle of the year of 1999, so more than 23 years. And it almost feels like I'm working for somebody. It's worse than, getting notices from eBay or Amazon, that make you feel like you're their employee. That passes or whatever. But this makes me feel like, I'm being dictated to. And there is a definite end date for a change, unless what I'm thinking of is this building could go into receivership when they can't pay the loan, the note that they have from the bank, because there's no way in hell that they're going to fill up these offices, suites, and chunks of warehouse or whatever with tenants, with what they're going to be asking. And pretty much everybody who is going month to month in this building, they're all going to leave because they can't take these increases. So it was kind of fortunate for me to get this mistake notification, because now they revealed their hand and now I know what to expect. But back to what I was saying, I have a feeling that this may revert back to the bank, and there's a possibility that I will be staying after my leases are up, because they're not going to get people to rent here. And then they're going to have to give up the building. And then, if it gets acquired by the bank, I'll still continue along with my lease. And that's happened to me before. That's why I know that this could happen again. I'll just continue paying month to month after that if the bank is the owner of the building, because they won't write a lease while they own the building. And the last time this happened to me, that whole lease ending, going month to month while it was under a bank, lasted for over a year. So, but anyway, if it doesn't go back to the bank, then I am stuck with the whole idea of what am I going to do? So that's what I've been thinking about for the past couple of days, ever since I got this mistake notification with their offer in it. And I've been laughing the whole time too, because it's just hilarious. An 80% rent increase. What am I supposed to do with that? I'm supposed to roll over and go, oh, okay, yeah, it's really worth it. What do I get for that extra money that I would pay? It's just someone else trying to get another piece of me. And, they're not working here. I'm going to be here 14 hours today. And, no big deal. It's my busy season, the very beginning of my busy season. And I love working these long hours because I see the fruits of my labor and I don't mind. It's great, Bring on the sales, bring on the traffic, everything. It's wonderful. Love it. I'm going to be here 14 hours. Why should I give more of that time to someone else? It's, you think you deserve $500 and something more a month out of me for one part of this. See, when my lease is up in 2024, I figured I'd probably be paying something like $1,200 more a month than what I'm paying now. So, no, it's not going to happen. It isn't. I mean, so I've just been thinking about a lot of things, and it something like this, an external change to your business, can really shake things up. And, I'm not looking at this as a bad thing because I've been thinking and making possible plans. I have 16 months to figure this out. And there's a lot that can happen and a lot that I can do in 16 months. And I have a couple of scenarios that I'm working through. And it's actually kind of motivating me. It's like put a fire under me in a way. Because, maybe the summer was kind of the doldrums. It usually is for my business. But this summer was worse with the economy and everything. And so I'm thinking that maybe this whole lease thing has put more of a fire under me. And that's not a bad thing. So I'm not looking at it as something that's bad. There are two elements to this that make it not bad. It's making me think, and it's making me reevaluate my business, which I should have done anyway, which I didn't do. And then second, it's so entertaining. It's so funny to think that. It's so funny that people think that they could do something like this, and people will just bow their heads and be supplicants and say, okay, all right, okay, give me more, raise it higher. Who do you think you are? This whole place is going to be vacant in the next 6 months, and then what are you going to do? I mean, like I said before, the red flag, there were two red flags from the very beginning of these new owners. One is that they paid full price for the building when there's $750,000 of upgrades that this needs. And then number two is when the old leasing agent was bringing them around to the different businesses. The three people who bought the building were all wearing masks in April of 2022. Come on, let's move on. They were all wearing masks. They refused to shake my hand. And I said to them, oh, by the way, my name is Robert. I'm a long-term tenant, and all this stuff. I introduced myself twice. I mentioned my name to these people, and they didn't even tell me their names. And I couldn't see their faces anyway because they were like, oh, nice to meet you. Come on, So there's an indication of the people I'm working with. And then the new leasing agent comes to me and, tells me that I'm going month to month. And it's like, no, I have this paper. It was in a file right next to my printer. All of my paperwork connected to this place, all, former leases that I've had, notifications, everything. I just pulled the paper and I'm like, come on, what a screw up. So these are the people I'm dealing with. You can't even get your paperwork right. So that part of it's entertaining, but whatever. Like I said, I'm here 14 hours today. I got a lot to do. So I'm pretty charged for the week and for this busy buying and selling season. So let's get to work and laugh off all the stuff that's funny that we can't control and think about things. And I'll be thinking about this the whole day and, planning for a bigger, brighter future. So if you've listened this long, this is a very long video. I appreciate your time, and remember to always work hard, and may all of your entrepreneurial dreams come true.